Everybody. I'm going to show you something on the computer having to do with retirement planning that I think you should know about. So let's take a look. All right, what you're looking at here is a retirement plan for a couple. They're both 56. They want to retire at age 65. They have about $1 million in their 401ks, and they're expecting to spend about $100,000 a year in retirement. And they're somewhat on the conservative side. Their expected rate of return is about 6%. And what this shows is, and this is really the thing I want you to kind of pay attention to, not all the other little, numbers and so on here, the probability of success, 91%. So what does this really mean? The way this program works is that it uses what's called Monte Carlo simulation, and it runs 10,000 trials using a certain inflation rate and a certain expected rate of return, and then all the other parameters in terms of spending and so on. And it perturbs or varies the inflation rate and rate of return over a defined range randomly. And the idea is to try to capture what happens in real life. You don't, if your expected rate of return is 6%, and let's say you even achieve that, you're not going to get 6% each and every year. You're going to get, some years are going to even be negative, and some years you're going to get 9%, whatever. And that can have a really very big effect depending on the order in which the particular rates of return occur. So the program is attempting to capture that. All right, so 91%, mostly that would be considered pretty good, a pretty good result. So we might say to this couple, well, you seem to be in pretty good shape. Okay, so the question of the moment is, let's say we want to play with retirement age and or spending level. What is the impact? So in the interest of keeping this video compact, I'm going to simultaneously reduce retirement age and increase spending level, both relatively modestly. The idea being that the couple feels, well, this is really what we would like to do, and it looks as if we're able to do that. So let's take a look. What does that do? Okay, so I'm just about to run this with a retirement age of 63 instead of 65, and an annual retirement spending level of 105,000 instead of 100,000. Those are not gigantic differences. Let's see what the impact is. Here we go. Wow. Just those modest changes brings the probability of success down to just 52%. There's about an even chance that this couple will run out of money. That's a pretty high level of risk. Most people would not really be excited about taking that on. And really, my point here is, if I ever ask anyone, what's your guess? Intuitively, what do you think is going to happen if I make these changes? No one guesses that the impact is as big as it is. So I want you to be aware of it. All right. Let's take a look at another scenario. All right. So what you're looking at now is I've changed the amount in the 401ks to $1.5 million. Everything else is what we started with, a retirement age of 65 and then $100,000 spending assumption. And you can see that with 50% more money in the 401ks, that has a very pronounced impact. We now are at 100% success. There's not a single trial in the 10,000 in the simulation that resulted in running out of money. So, if the couple goes to the advisor and this is what they are shown, they may feel, wow, we really have some room to play with here. Let's really push fairly hard on retirement age and or retirement spending, and let's enjoy ourselves. All right, so let's take a look at what that does to the projections. All right, so in this case, I changed the retirement age to 62, not 63 as in the last case, and I jacked the retirement spending assumption up to 115,000 from 100,000 because the couple is at 100% probability of success. I'm assuming that based on that, they might want to go a little harder. So what does this do? Let's run it. All right. The effect here is not as pronounced, but again, I don't know that you would have predicted that we would be from those modest changes down to just 82% chance of success. And, a lot of people would not really want to take a 1 in 5 chance, which is what this shows, of running out of money early. All right, we'll do one more. This last example is the most well-off couple. These people have $3 million in their 401ks. Everything else is the same. Retired at 65, $100,000 spending expectation in retirement. And again, we're still at 100% percent. But what you see here with this curve is that it's constantly increasing. And what this shows is that at age 95, they'll probably have around 5.5 million in their portfolios. So, if these people visit the financial advisor and they see this outcome, they may really want to go hard on retirement age and spending. So let's see what that does. Okay, I'm about to run with age 60 as a retirement age and 175,000 as the spending expectation. Now that's quite a bit more than 100,000, but it's, remember, these people have 3 times as much money as in the first example. So going from 100 to 175,000, that's not nowhere near 3 times, an increase. So it sort of maybe intuitively feels as if they ought to be able to do that. Let's run it. The effect is, I would call it pretty harsh. The retirement age of 60 and the $175,000 spending expectation, I would say it doesn't really work. They're down at just a 59% chance of success. Excuse me. Again, I'm guessing that this isn't what you would have thought would happen. In your own retirement planning, please be aware of the tremendous sensitivity to retirement age and spending expectation. Getting that off just a little bit can have a tremendous impact. So what that really translates to is you need somewhat of a margin of safety. Don't go right to the edge here. All right, make it so that even if you're a bit wrong on some of these things, and after all, that's easy over 35 years or so of projections. Easy to be wrong. In fact, you're probably going to be wrong. Incorporate that. Think about what has happened in recent history. We've had several years now, actually about 9 of them, with ridiculously low interest rates. Retirement plans that were done, let's say in 2003, 4, 5, I bet not 1 in 10,000 illustrated the kinds of interest rates that we have in fact experienced over the past few years, and that's had a devastating impact on retirees who were expecting to rely on interest income from CDs and bonds and that sort of thing. So, your plan has to have room for surprises. Life is full of surprises. I'll talk to you soon.